Ah, Defender. Another great game from the early 80s. I remember when I first saw Defender, it was in a grocery store. I think it was the Kroger grocery store in my hometown. Back then, a lot of the grocery stores had arcade games right when you walk through the front door. I remember the IGA store in my hometown usually had a single arcade game right when you walk through the door, like Asteroids Deluxe, Donkey Kong. They would rotate them out every once in a while. But at Kroger's, they had Defender sitting there. I was very curious about the game because I'd never seen it before, so I walked up to it, and I was initially a little put off by all the controls on this crazy thing, but it's not so bad, actually, once you get used to it. I went to put a quarter in this crazy thing. Of course, I wouldn't take any quarters. I got to looking into the coin slot and saw there was a bunch of quarters jammed in the slot, like one got stuck and someone tried to shove some more in there to unstick it. So it was kind of just jammed in there. So I got my pocket knife out and I started rambling around in the coin slot. Pretty soon those quarters let loose. Ended up with like 10 free games. So needless to say, when my mom was shopping, I played Defender the entire time as she was at the grocery store shopping that day. I was really entranced by all the graphics and the sound effects. I love the sound effects of this game. Especially the sound of when you shoot the little pods and the little UFOs pop, those little red UFOs pop out and they go and start shooting around. I love that sound. And I also like the sound when you shoot one of those little UFO guys. I guess they're called baiters or something like that. But man, this game was very challenging and it was quite enjoyable. I really look forward to going back to the grocery store with my parents just to play this game. Now, of course, not long after this, the Atari 2600 got its own port of Defender. I remember seeing this up on the store shelf at Montgomery Ward, and I had to have the game because I love the arcade game. So I convinced my mom to get it for me. And all the way home, I'm reading the manual, looking it over, and I'm like, they took all those buttons and they got it down to using an 8-way joystick and a fire button. Interesting. So I popped the game in, started giving it a play, and one of the first things I noticed, of course, is how your ship disappears when you fire. But I love that sound effect of your laser shot being, firing. That is so cool. I didn't really mind that you had to drop below the cityscape in order to activate a smart bomb or go up above the top of the screen to do hyperspace. Of course, it's hard to play the game because those two buttons really get you out of a lot of jams on the arcade game, whereas on the 2600 it's like, I need stuff with smart bomb. Well, wait a minute, I got to fly down below the cityscape before I can set it off. But the game is not all that difficult, especially when you put it on the teddy bear level. Oh my gosh, I can play this game for hours on the teddy bear level. It's freaking so easy. But it's a really, really good arcade translation to the 2600. Considering the limitations of the 2600, what they were able to accomplish with this game on there. Still a great game. I still enjoy it a lot today. One of my favorite things I like to do is I like to get my Point Master fire control. And so I have rapid fire. Because if you notice, when you got your shots going off, your ship has disappeared and the collision detection appears not to be working very much. Because you have critters go right through you. So when you use one of these Point Master fire controls, your ship is pretty much invisible the entire time. All you see is the lightning bolts going across the screen. So, yeah, it makes the game a little bit more easier, especially for the Willy. So, advantage Willy. Oh, yeah. So, that's my thoughts on the two games and some of the memories I have of the arcade game and the Atari 2600 game. So, now, let's take a look what came in the box.
I love the Defender box. It's a nice, really nice looking blue. I love this artwork on the cover of the box. It's so awesome. This is the one that came with the actual comic book as well from DC Comics. Volume number 1's included inside. Awesome. On the back of the box, you can see a picture of the gameplay as usual. Defend planet Earth against the aliens. Don't let alien landers kidnap the humanoids and turn them into destructive mutants. And it's got the Willy mode. Awesome. 20 video games. And this was purchased originally at Montgomery Ward's, but there's not a price on here, so I don't know how much it cost when this was purchased. Inside the box, we have our cartridge that has the ever so cool picture label. Gosh, I love these labels on these Atari cartridges. They are so nice. Also in the box we have, of course, we have our manual, another full color manual again. Actually tells you helpful hints is in section 7. So it goes through the gameplay, your labs and smart booms, the alien attack waves. You have your bomber, the baiter, the lander, mutant swarmers, and the pod. There's a lot going on the screen on this crazy game. Using the radar scanner, which is very helpful to see what's coming up off the screen as you're flying across the cityscape in this instance instead of the moonscape. How to save a humanoid. Destroy the lander, catch the human before he falls to his death. Ah! He's dead. Using the joystick controllers. It's amazing. He took a game as complex as Defender and boiled it down to using just a 8-directional joystick and one button. Of course, you got to use hyperspace by going above the screen and smart bombs by going below the cityscape. But it was kind of interesting how they took the Defender gameplay and kind of simplified it for the Atari 2600. Then we have our points. Really nice full-color illustrations here, which I really like in the earlier Atari games. The different game variations are helpful hints. Love those. Love the helpful hints. And the ever so useful game select metrics. Oh, yeah. Also in the box, sometimes they came with a nice little Atari catalog as well. That would show you some upcoming games or games that are out already on the system. You know, Pac-Man, Maze Craze, Skydiver, Circus Atari. Oh, yeah. That's one of my favorites. I always love these little manuals. Catalogs, Adventure Territory, Haunted House, oh yeah. Ooh, Superman, yeah. Some great games in this catalog. I love the old Atari catalogs. And of course, right here is our comic book. Atari Force, volume number 1 with Commander Champion. What a cool comic book. A lot of times the comic doesn't really match what's going on in the game, but they try. Like, this building looks like the Atari symbol, which is cool. Intruder Alert, you know, that's from Berserk. Got some great illustrations in here. Some nice artwork. Like, thunk, whack, smack, you're finished. Ah! Oh, this is good stuff. Chapter 3, The Final Approach. I like these comic books. They're pretty cool, actually. Pretty neat. Awesome. So that's Defender on the old Atari 2600. Thanks for watching.